Hey people, Indrid here, 2v2, Death Pass. On my team, it's me of course, with some Nurgle fellas, a Herald of Nurgle as my leader, my lord, on a palanquin, having a lovely sit down with a bell. He's got a bunch of extra armor because of the palanquin, gives him a bit more speed although he's pretty slow still, and a decent melee combatant. He's got Cloud of Flies as well, that takes him up to 61 melee defense. He's got this Locus of Fecundity, a 3-use AoE heal over time, pretty nice. Also get some of your vigor back. And for the spell, I gave him one spell, Fleshy Abundance, a big heal over time. Expensive, you can even overcast this to be Area of Effect and cost even more. Got a Soul Grinder here alongside me. Awesome beastie with a big old Nurgle cannon that he shoots 3 times as boom boom boom. And nasty in combat all round. Beautiful boy. Pretty expensive though, I think like 1600 gold for a Soul Grinder. I've got some Plague Bearers. Your tier 2 Nurgle Demon fellas. Pretty good stand and fight unit with Cloud of Flies and 116 hit points per model, which is pretty damn good. Recently got buffed actually in 1.1. Now slightly faster, 27 speed instead of 23. Slow down fellas. And they were made slightly cheaper. Much like the Exalted Plague Bearers is a tier 3 Nurgle Demon fellas that can throw. I think they gave them extra ammunition in 1.1 as well. Slightly faster again and reduced their cost. 132 hit points per model. Pretty awesome. And they throw, Torpid let me know, who's my 2v2 partner here, that they throw these little like corrupted, rotten death heads that you can actually see on their model there. Pretty cool. Speaking of Torpid, who you may recognize as a Dawn of War 2 player, won multiple tournaments and leagues and all that stuff. Don't think they play too much these days, but they are still involved in Elite mod development. They've gone for Grand Cathay and Zhao Ming, who seems to float around like an anime character. This guy's pretty badass. He's a pretty good melee fighter and can cast spells, kind of like the Vampire Lords, where they're really good at fighting and can cast spells as well. But this fella can just turn into a dragon. For spells, they've gone for Final Transmutation and Dragon's Breath. Final Transmutation is a single target damage over time, and Dragon's Breath is a breath spell. Yes, it's like a line of fire, I guess. What else has he got? Because I have no idea. He's got this thing. Oh, I see. So he can buff up his casting if multiple models have this thing. Warding of Iron, 5% damage resist around him. Pretty nice. Strength of Yang. Oh, this is his casting trigger. And it's just a bunch of damage. And Metal Shifting. Oh, he's got 2 of them. So big damage buffs, especially if you're near him whenever he casts a spell. I, of course, have Children of Nurgle, which heals everyone on the map when I cast a spell, which is pretty nice. What else we got going on here? Doesn't he have some Longmar? There they are. Flying Shock Cavalry. I don't... What are these things? They're like horse dragons or something. 75 charge bonus. Tier 3. Tons of armor. Shields. Massive speed. Decent stats. That charge bonus is nuts though. Charge bonus is added to your melee attack and your weapon strength, I think, when you charge in for 10 seconds or whatever it is. I've got a cultist over here. These guys are awesome. They've got regenerate. They can run away though. They're not demons, so they do have potentially leadership problems, but they tend to rally because of their regen. Pretty decent in combat. Middling weapon strength for a single character. But they've got Gate of Nurgle. These guys can summon Plague Bearers. They've got regen, as I said, and some good debuffs. Warrior Bane, just less base weapon damage, and Icon of Eternal Virulence. Lots of debuffs that get more powerful as he stands there debuffing you. Also poison attacks, much like most Nurgle things. Got some Chaos Furies in here. I actually quite like the Nurgle Furies. Their terrible melee defense is not quite as terrible when Cloud of Flies kicks in, and they're super quick and cheap. What else we got going on? We have some Jade Warriors of Halberds coming in here for Torpid. I think they already had some on the field yet over here. And that's pretty... Oh, they got a bunch of Peasant Archers. Tier 1 Archers, but Tier 1 Archers seem to perform pretty well in Total War Warhammer games, I think. Because you just get so many of them. 120 fellas firing bad arrows will still do some good work for you. Up against... It's Ogres and Tzeentch. Unfortunately, I can't tell you who these players are because the replay system in this game, for some reason, gives no indication who is controlling the factions. It used to, because I casted some Total War Warhammer 1 games, and it definitely told you there. What are their lords? We've got a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. This is a Ogre spellcaster, and Ogres do have a healing spell. No, I'm selecting the wrong fella here. This guy. It's Troll Guts. There it is. A 0.8%, 40-second regeneration. That's pretty nuts. It must be expensive, though. Yeah, 16 wins. And they've got some debuffs and buffs and all that good stuff. A Giant, which are apparently an off-meta pick because Torpid, who knows way more about this game and plays it way more, was very surprised to see a Giant. Tons of hit points, massive weapon strength, pretty good melee attack, decent speed. I'm not sure why they are such an off-meta pick. Maybe they're super expensive, or just their sheer size makes them really easy to shoot, and Grand Cathay have pretty decent shooting. Oh yeah, Torpid does have some cannons, that's right. Some grand cannons, not just cannons with flaming attacks. Aiming at the Giant, they're pretty good at that. What have we got for Tzeentch? Got some pink horrors. These are your tier 2 Tzeentch demon fellas. Not great in combat, but they can shoot at you. And they have good range. This thing is terrifying. An Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, a single entity with 1.4 thousand missile strength over 10 seconds. It's like a giant magic flamer, and if they can shoot like down the length of a unit, it's terrifying. They have a barrier like all Tzeentch units, but not a lot of hit points and not great melee stats. If you get into melee, maybe you can just squish them. You got some Ogre Bulls. Oh, Giant's fallen over. Poor fella. Ogre Bulls are your basic Ogre fellas, but they are of course large, as all Ogres are. That green crap is my Soul Grinder shooting, most likely. There he is. Trying to get some stuff done. We got some Saber Tusks, which are pretty cool. Not sure what's going on with these horns. They seem to be like just grafted onto their skin somehow. Some Noblars, which are pretty terrible infantry, but you get loads of them and they're expendable. 160 models in there. There is a stone horn somewhere, but I'm struggling to find it right now. Who's this back here? Some Noblar trappers. Oh, there's a stone horn. Massive ogre beastie with, I think, horns literally made of stone. Massive amount of armor, health, weapon strength, and they've got massive bonuses versus infantry, I think. Yep, 20. So that gets added to their melee attack when they're attacking infantry. These Tzeentchian Knights, Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, are awesome. Look at them. Resplendent in their Tzeentchian armor. I wish I could get some kind of Nurgle Knight. Maybe that'll happen later on, or perhaps when they add in Warriors of Chaos, or get some Nurgle Chosen or something. These guys are pretty badass. Tier 3, tons of armor, a shield. Actually pretty good combat stats, so they might be able to stick in combat and trade quite well. Decent charge bonus, decent weapon strength. And I think we can go to normal speed now. So for those that don't know, Domination mode, we've got some victory tickets up here. First to 5,000 wins. You accrue them by holding these victory locations. There's 3 of them on the map. And we get supplies coming in to purchase some reinforcements. There's Zhao Ming. Zhao Ming. Trying to say it right. He's already turned into a dragon. I think he can't cast spells when he's a dragon. Oh, but gets Dragon's Breath. Okay. It's only 6 wins. Oh, we never found the Tzeentch Lord. There he is. It's a Herald of Tzeentch on a disc or whatever they call it. Yeah, pretty awesome. He can just fly around and shoot magic crap. Does he start with a ranged attack? It does. It's a pretty good ranged attack. They're good at sniping large targets, I think, the Tzeentch. I've got a Beast of Nurgle coming in. Big spell there. An Ogre spell, it looks like. That's quite nasty. That was on my Exalted Plague Bearers too. Gonna clash in the mid. Looks like they popped Troll Guts on those guys to heal, maybe. I saw what looked like a healing icon right on my Soul Grinder, actually. Maybe to stop it from firing that nasty cannon. Big line fighting here. Arrows coming in from Torpid's archers. My Beast of Nurgle in there to debuff melee stats and stuff. Let's have a look at this guy. These guys are awesome. Only 800 gold, a Beast of Nurgle. Good melee defense with Cloud of Flies. They also get regeneration. Decent weapon strength with armor piercing, and they've got this thing, Slime Trail, -5 melee attack to everything around them. It's quite a short range, but it's pretty good. They went pretty hard on our natural victory location here, point 1. They've got some Screamers of Tzeentch, which are anti-large specialists. Not very good combat stats here until you see that they have 25 bonus versus large. So they're actually quite a threat to Zhao Ming, but I don't seem to be going after him here. I'm not sure what they're going after, actually. Oh, they're going after the Longmar. The Longmar are in there. Here comes some Gorges. These guys are nuts. They were nerfed quite a lot, though, I think. Anti-infantry beasts that can stalk, which is why you can see them and stuff. Flamers of Tzeentch over there. I managed to get some plague drones of Nurgle on them. Love these guys. Not cheap, but good weapon strength. Crappy charge bonus, but they're pretty quick. And I just like having them around. Cloud of Flies gives you some really nice tactical options when you have a flying unit. This is a 2v2, of course, so forgive me if it's incredibly chaotic and hard to follow. And these games were played weeks ago, so I don't remember what happened either. You're in good hands. Got a bunch of Nurglings coming in here. My Plague Bearers getting shot to shreds as by pink horrors, but now they're in melee. Oh, but they're close to capitulating, I think. Got some peasant long spearmen here. Might do well against the Ogre Bulls, but they're going to get shot up. Do we have the mid? No, we don't have the mid. The mid is very red right now. Takes you so long to get there with Nurgle. At least it's slightly faster now. At 27 speed for your Plague Bearers, and they're slightly cheaper. Some Tzeentchian crap shooting at us there. That was some kind of breath spell going off. What is this? Oh, a Forsaken of Tzeentch in there. I never use the Nurgle Forsaken. I just don't like that they only have 20 melee defense. And they don't get Cloud of Flies because they are not demons. Although neither is the cultist, and he gets it. They do have poison and they do have frenzy, but I just pretty much always prefer to have Plague Bearers. And Plague Bearers don't run. I like units that stay in there and fight to the death. So they have 1,500 victory tickets. We have none, which is good. These Saber Tusk are rampaging, so you lose control of them. The Stone Horn is... we've got it down to half health. Torpid put a couple of Jade Warriors of Halberds on it, and we are grabbing back 0.1. Kind of. Oh, Zhao Ming's here still. Where's my cultist? My cultist is in there. He's a pretty good tank, that guy, because he debuffs so much stuff. This water looks weird. And he's got that health regen. There is a limit to how much health you can regenerate, though. Whether it's from natural regeneration or spells and stuff. Got some plague drones into these flamers. These are the non-exalted flamers, which are actually a squad of units rather than the single entity. Still pretty scary. 300 missile strength per model on those guys. Pretty nuts, but that's why you have giant rotting flies. I mean, how horrific must it be to try and fight one of these rot fly things? These are the ones, the rot flies are the ones that don't have plague bearers riding them. They're slightly worse in every way, but cheaper. And the plague drones are the fellas with the plague bearers on top. So I've got the central point with all my Nurgle stuff. But it can become problematic against Tzeentch because they will just shoot the crap out of you from range. You try to go after them, they just run away. And Ogres have pretty good shooting. I think they have lead belchers and stuff, which I assume they got. As I said before, I don't really remember what happened in this game. Got some Longmar riders coming into pressure. Trying to put pressure on them so they can't even get close to the mid. Stonehorn is here though. Zhao Ming still going after, and here comes my Soul Grinder, now run out of ammo to just try and smash it to death, I guess. He'll get there eventually. Ogres at the moment, they can put their Hunter hero on top of a Stonehorn, which is apparently insanely strong, bordering on overpowered because it's relatively, it's like super cost efficient. But I guess this play didn't do it, or didn't know about how good it is, but we definitely faced it and it was nasty. Oh, here's the Slaughtermaster running away. He's actually shattered. That little skull there means they are not going to recover. They're just going to run off the map. And then they'll have to regenerate their health, and you have to repurchase them in Domination mode. Got some man-eaters with pistols. I was very surprised to see ogres with pistols, but they are pretty cool units. Look at them. Oh, they can fire on the move. That was cool. Ouch. Look at those flamers, that blue flame crap. That's the flamers of Tzeentch back there. Forsaken. Trying to charge, but they are thinking about running. It's another one of the reasons I don't use them. Just don't want my fellas running. please. Good pressure with my rot flies and my plague drones. Good weapon strength on those guys. Still have the mid. It's a massive blob of Nurgle stuff here. We have our 0.1 as well. Another beast of Nurgle to the mid. And I got a Plague Ridden in here. This is much like the Herald. A Plague Ridden. And you can put them on a Palanquin as well. But this guy gets Locus of Virulence. And this is on cooldown. So you can use it as many times as you want. On a 90-second cooldown. Plus 24 melee attack. And when you... And that's AoE. And when you pop that with Plague Bearers become pretty vicious when they have plus 24 melee attack. So do Nurglings, actually. Nurglings getting absolutely roasted here. Just wanted to throw something in to try and pressure them. Nurglings a good shout for it. Plague drones are dying, but they're doing good work back there. Zhao Ming continues to wreak havoc. Look at these kills here. 352 kills. 35,000 damage almost on Zhao Ming. Insane. They really needed to deal with that guy better. They got another giant coming in. I don't think the first giant even made it to the front line. Stonehorn down there in the background. Is it just my cultist? Well, my cultist and some Jade Warriors looking after that point. I think they would have done a lot better if they didn't go for that point. If they went harder on the mid. And of course their own 0.3 over here. But we are 1,500 tickets behind. We are gaining tickets faster. I'm not sure whose supplies these are. Are these Torpid supplies? Because they are like player 1 on this team. I'm not sure. Soul Grinder's coming over to try and cap, because if you're a flying unit or a unit that can fly, such as Zhao Ming, you don't have any capping weight. You can't cap stuff. So I needed to get a unit on foot over here. I remember Torpid saying to get the Soul Grinder over here to try and cap. And probably something else is being sent there too. Maybe those long spearmen and stuff. We got a fire rain rocket here firing in. Getting some decent shots on a giant. Poor giant can't even get into combat. Got my Herald and my Plague Ridden and my Beast. So it's a nasty combat force. But they are getting shot to pieces here. And I just can't afford to move out. Maybe I should have moved up a bit and had a higher line here. Oh, what are these fellas? Doom Knights of Tzeentch. They look pretty badass. They've got silver shields. Look at this. 55% chance to block rather than 30 or whatever it is. Good charge bonus. Insane speed. Decent stats across the board. I bet they're super expensive though, these guys. Can we select them and follow them? Kind of. Frame rate doesn't like it when I follow them. But because of all these, the alpha smoke effects. Let's clean up now. Are they going to charge? Oh, they're charging something down there. Charging some long spearmen. Okay, that's enough of that. Doom Knights of Tzeentch. They're getting torn up by Zhao Ming. And I was, of course, healing Zhao Ming whenever I could. And since I'm Nurgle, I've got the Fecundity army ability as well. So I just had tons of heals. I had Locus of Fecundity, I had the Fecundity army ability, and I had Fleshy Abundance. And as you can see, these little orange bars on the health here, that's the regeneration limit. So you can see these Plague Bearers, those guys just couldn't be healed anymore because I'd healed them so much. These Exalted Plague Bearers are almost out of their healing cap there. So the healing did huge amounts for me in the mid. Tons of Ogres now moving towards 0.3, which is ours, thanks to some Jade Warriors and my Soul Grinder. Got some Spearmen and Jade Warrior Halberd fellas in there. Cathay do get cool tier 3 infantry, I think, the Celestial Guard or whatever they're called. Didn't see any of them here. Forsaken of Tzeentch coming in, just cutting them off with me Rot Flies and my Plague Drones. And here we go. I start moving up here. Just sick of getting shot at so much. So I move up a bit. There's the corpse of the giant. There's the Herald getting stuck in. Has he even taken any damage? Oh, there's an AoE Fleshy Abundance. You see that? Massive cast. Massive heal. It's 28 wins to do that though. It's really expensive. And for that reason, I don't take any spells on my Plague Ridden. They are spellcasters. but I only use them to be a tanky leadership and locus of virulence fella sitting in there. I don't know how efficient that is to use them that way, but I like them. They're sitting on Nurgle chairs. Look at them. And they're just tanky as hell. So I like to bring them in with no spells to make them as cheap as possible. And just have them pop that Locust Cultist in here too to debuff things. Beast of Nurgle not getting involved at the moment. There's so many things to manage. Here comes the Stonehorn in the mid. It's not going to be enough. They pushed hard here, but we got all 3 points and there was the victory. It was really close though. I think they had like 4,200 tickets themselves there. And there was your battle. We did win it. We pulled it out at the end. The strength of Nurgle in the mid. Definitely all me. Nothing to do with the Zhao Ming killing like 500 models or something. But let's have a look at the end screen because it will show us some damage and kill stats and stuff. There it is. Look how little numbers I brought here compared to Torpid's tons of Cathayans. 500. Look, I was right. Over 500 kills for Zhao Ming. Almost 60,000 damage. Holy crap. Archers didn't actually do that well. I mean, decent damage dealt. They just didn't get many kills. These Jade Warriors had a rough time. Didn't kill anything. Dealt 300 damage. I wonder what happened to them. Maybe they got nuked by spells. The Longmars did well too. What about over here? The Tzeentchian Lord fella got 132 kills. The Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch did work. Look at that. 143. We can look at the reinforcements of Torpid. Solid numbers all round. Yeah, I'm not sure what this Astromancer was doing. I think he like buffs spells of Zhao Ming or something. Not sure how that works. Fire Rain Rocket did work. What about the Tzeentchian reinforcements? The Doom Knights, coolest fellas on the battlefield, only got 7 kills. The Forsaken actually did well. Well, these two did. This was Flamers of Tzeentch, 23. Screamers did alright. Pink Horrors did alright. What about the Nurgle boys and the Ogres? Tons of kills in the Soul Grinder. They always seem to perform well for me. Look at the Furies. Damage dealt as gold 1444. These guys only cost 550 gold, I think. So they almost got 3 times their cost as gold value in damage. Pretty nuts. Yeah, not a lot of damage for the Herald. Not a lot of damage for the... Well, not a lot of kills anyway for the Cultist. That's not what they're there for. These Plague Bearers had a rough time. 0 kills. What about over here? Slaughtermaster with 3 kills. Did the Giant smack anything? Oh, the Giant smacked some stuff. He's got 19 kills. He did get in there. What about our reinforcements? Yeah, got some good value out of the Rotflies. I'm not sure how it counts these kills and stuff. Because if they wipe out and you re-summon them, does it just add everything together? Or is it only does it only count the most recent time that they were alive kind of thing? Not actually sure how that works. Pistol fellows did well. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.